That looks very blurry. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Big here for Serpent X Tech. Welcome back to another episode of Caffeine and Crypto, where I welcome you to join me with your favorite caffeinated beverage of choice, or some beer, as Rudd puts his drinking, because it's a different time zone where they're at. But this is a morning show here in the U.S., at least on the East Coast, West Coast, and Central, where we go over some crypto news for the week and talk and hang out. Welcome you to join us. If you're new, let me know wherever you're watching, Twitch, X, YouTube. But right now, I mean, Bitcoin's over 115K. Ethereum approaching 4,700. ADA up almost 6% to 94 cents. See if we could crest over that dollar soon. DOT is actually up significantly, around 7% to $4.53. Shiba Inu is up 8.67%. Doge is up 12.4%. A lot of the altcoins, some of them, not a lot of them, are climbing up, bunk, and much more. Obviously, not all of them are in the deep greens, but we do have green across the board with Bitcoin hopefully coming to fruition soon. I'm not sure if you guys have been able to, but beta.coin360.com has not been working for me. Let me know in the comment section if it's been working for you. Let's look at the chart real quick. You can see we're kind of making higher highs and higher lows on the daily. What I'm expecting, or what I'm hoping for, is exactly what I said 2 weeks ago. I know I've been MIA, and by the way, I will be MIA next Saturday. If I could go live from where I'm going to be located, I will. But bear with me. I'm sorry I've been missing in action. Just been really busy, personally, family-related stuff, trying to get things done. And, you know, you let me know if it's been impacting you and you miss my normal Monday, Wednesday, Friday uploads. But looking at the chart, we're looking good, right? So most of this week, we started this week, what? On September 7th, right? And since then, we have basically climbed up about 5.83%. Small pullback today, but 5.83%. And you know, maybe we might chop around this upcoming week, but what I'm expecting is September 17th, what we've been talking about for the past couple of weeks. We need a few different things that I'm looking for to just set it off, right? The market's been kind of, you know, we pulled back from the all-time high. We didn't continue pushing up to newer or greater highs, and we're waiting for ETF inflows, which you're going to see an article about that in a minute. We're waiting on more retail investment, more exposure, more people, newer people in retail getting involved. We're waiting, more importantly, on the Fed rate, right? Is the Fed rate cut. So what is it? CME Fed Watch. Chances of a Fed rate cut coming up September 17th, 4 days, 2 hours, 51 minutes, and 50 seconds. You know, there's a 93.4% chance that the target rate will be 400 to 425. If the Fed rate, you know, cuts, if the Fed cuts rates, that would definitely be a good thing for the markets overall. But we'll have to see. So is Jerome Powell going to cut rates? And you know, continued growth within the sector, right? We've seen some tech stocks and everything start to climb up. I don't even know why I was showing you that. You guys didn't even see the CME rate cut. I'm over here. You guys are just looking at my ugly face. But yeah, 4 hours, 2 minutes, or 4 days, 2 hours, 55 minutes, and you can see 93.4%. Sorry, I left it on the wrong screen. So we're going to continue on through the news. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, send a super chat if you can afford to do so. Pay your bills first, or otherwise at me in the live chat. Bitcoin all-time highs due in 2 to 3 weeks as price fills the 117K futures gap. You know, after even if the Fed rate cut does happen, I don't think, you know, you're going to have a nice run up. And I think the market might be trying to price it in, right? That's why I think this week we're starting to push higher. This next week, we could chop sideways, but still push higher. Maybe climb back up to 118K, right? That's a big resistance area right now, as you can see here looking at the chart. 118, 120 is going to be another hurdle to climb over. But if we can get back to that, after the Fed rate cut, I think that will continue to move on forward. Rizzo with the $5. Thank you so much. Another good stream, brother. Appreciate it. No, again, sorry for being MIA on my regular posts, my regular uploads, and last week's live stream. I will be MIA this upcoming Saturday, but if I can live stream from where I will be located, I will do so. It's going to be automotive related, not crypto related, but if I can live stream, I will do so. But yeah, so even if the Fed rate cut happens, you know, the market might price it in, and then like a delayed indicator, a couple weeks later, we might see a nice march upwards. That's what I'm hoping for. But hoping is one thing. You know, I'm managing my expectations, but I really would like for Bitcoin to get to a newer all-time high above the 124K region, get to that 150 sooner rather than later. I know towards the end of the year is what everybody's expecting, but I would like for it to hit that, and because we know around Christmas or shortly after Christmas, the market pulls back a little bit, erasing some of those gains before we march into the next year, 2026. Where early January we could have some pullback as well. Usually around January we have some pullback. Let's see here. Right, so it's basically Q2. But where's January? January. Yeah, so December we were marching up, right? Midway through December we started to pull back. We marched into January, had another pullback. End of January or middle of January we started to push up higher. And then fall further, you know, February, March, tax season, right? People tax loss harvesting, resetting their assets, flipping from one to the other, from crypto to traditional stocks to crypto, right? So we fall. After that, February, March, then comes April, and then April starts to put in that new leg up. Market is different compared to what it used to be for so many years. So what we expect it to do and what it does are two different things. So just manage your expectations, dollar cost average, stack up on the assets that you want to stack up on, and play the long game. I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but I posted a short about it. Wendy O's video, I guess, overlapped my voice. But basically, let me see if I could adjust the camera here. But basically, transactions, the blockchain was getting attacked and transactions may have been getting manipulated if you're using certain DeFi or DApp applications or whatever. So you're trying to send funds from one wallet to another. Well, if you're not paying attention to the actual transaction, when you do it in MetaMask or even on your hardware wallet, you'll see transaction details, the destination wallet address, what contract it's calling. You can see some of those more advanced stuff. Now, it's hard for a newbie to know what that all means. But people like say for example, I'm trying to send to Rud Puts for whatever reason, which Rud, I still need to ship that thing out to you. I'm so sorry. But say I'm trying to send Rud some crypto and I'm not paying attention. I'm just clicking OK, continue, whatever, yes to transaction or yes to approve. And if you look at the contract, it's actually calling to a different contract, not the one I intended to, but also it's sending to a different destination address. So rather than going to Rud, who's sitting there waiting for his crypto that I was supposed to be sending, it now went to somebody else's wallet. It's supposed to be a Java exploit that since has been patched, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. But it's just good practice to always double check if you're not familiar with how to look at the transaction and make sure it's doing what you want it to do. Just always double check the address it's intended to send to. Always look and make sure that the address is in there, intended destination, so on and so forth. But yeah, as crypto continues to be more popular, there's going to be more and more ways that malicious actors are going to try to exploit it and take advantage of it and try to steal your funds. So just pay attention. But key points: Bitcoin futures markets fill a CME gap from mid-August, the latest sign of market strength. Bulls must avoid turning the level into resistance. A local lows awaits, analyst says. BTC price all-time highs could come in a matter of weeks. Data from Cointelegraph's Market Pro and Trading View showed BTC USD spot hitting 116,800, or right now 115,800. And they say it on Bitstamp. However, Bitcoin futures stole the spotlight, reaching 117.3 and closing a major gap left over the prior weekend. Appearing around August 23rd, the gap resulted in the weekend BTC price downside, with futures gradually filling it over the 3-week period. By the way, when we had this recent pullback that, you know, from the all-time high, we actually had a gap that we filled by going all the way down to 107.6. So that's 2 gaps filled during this downtrend. I don't think there's any other gaps. I think there's one more around the 90K range. Will we fill that? I mean, it's certainly possible. Again, Bitcoin can flip 23, 25, 30%. We've seen that in the past. But to go all the way down to 90K, I mean, yeah, it's still in the 30% range. I don't know. We could fill it. We could fill it. But I think if we have the Fed rate cut, retail sales continue to climb, inflows continue to get better, then I think that we won't return to those levels. Is my projected, you know, not financial advice, projected thesis or whatever. Anyways, if BTC fully reclaims this level, the door towards a new all-time high will open, says crypto investor Ted Pillows. What a name. On X, Pillows warned that if the price treats the top of the gap as resistance, it may return to monthly lows under 108K, right? So going back down below that 107. All-time highs were firmly back on the radar at the weekend. However, various signals rejecting the idea that the cycle top was in, because a lot of people were calling for that was it, right? That 124K that we hit was it. That was the top, guys. That's what they're saying. I don't think so. It's my personal opinion. I think there's still a lot of leg left. Yes, the bulls were losing ground and the bears were taking over, but I still believe that we have a nice march up to 150, 155K, maybe 162 is where I'm looking or eyeing right now. But Keith Allen told X followers that 124.5 was not the top. Why? Because there's simply too much institutional demand, and that demand is growing, and that's true, right? We keep talking. All this good news is continue to come out, even when we're pulling back, even before we hit the most recent all-time high, about how institutions and companies are saying they're going to buy XYZ by 2035. They're going to buy XYZ by 2032, right? All these companies have to continue to buy if they want to hit their targets that they're talking about. The U.S. Spot Bitcoin Exchange, or ETF, saw net inflows over 2.3 billion in the 5 days through September 12th, per data from the UK investment firm Farside Investors, right? So we got one of those 3 signals I've been talking about is good. The inflows are increasing, and that's good, right? We also lost a lot of the Bitcoin inflows to people hopping on the Ethereum bandwagon. And Ethereum could be another big asset that can really reclaim some high ground, as we'll get into later as we continue on through the articles here. But let me know if you have any questions, comments, or if you want to add to anything we discuss here in the live stream or podcast, please. Bitcoin has reclaimed its 8-year trend line. It has a breakout in July, and last month BTC lost this key level, but now the bulls have closed a strong candle, he explained, accompanying this chart right here. This shows the BTC momentum is very strong, and a new all-time high could happen within 2 to 3 weeks. All right, we did our retest, and now we're pushing up higher. So keep your eyes open in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Let's see how things go, especially listening to Jerome Powell's, Fed meeting, FOMC meeting. Bitcoin ETFs see 1.7 billion in inflows this week. The previous article just said we saw 2.3. Right, so various articles, let's just say basically rounding around 2 billion in inflows, where we had iShares Bitcoin Trust took the lion's share with 366 million in inflows. Meanwhile, Bitcoin crossed 116K at the time of this article. Bitcoin single-day hash rate, the computing power used by the blockchain, hit all-time high. So hash rates continue to climb, and usually when Bitcoin hash rate's climbing like that, we're going to see price appreciation. May not be right that instant, but we're going to see price appreciation. And I am earning less Bitcoin over a 24-hour time frame with my miners, my only 2 ASICs that I have, than I was in the past, right? That's going to continue to happen as net hash increases, thus, obviously increasing the difficulty and so on. So a lot of people, instead of mining Bitcoin, are turning to buying Bitcoin, and that is a feasible strategy. But maybe we'll do a dedicated video, not now, but in the future, about that. South Korea's newly launched BitPlanet completed its acquisition of SGA for $50 million, aiming to become one of the 10th largest global Bitcoin treasuries. Benchmark reiterated its buy rating of Bitcoin miner Canaan, like the stock, noting that the guidance it offered in its second quarter earnings report is in the 125 million to 145 million range, which could represent a substantial growth of 25 to 45%. So obviously we got Bitcoin mining companies, their stocks appreciating as well. We got IPOs out the yin yang for various crypto institutions. Bitcoin miner Bittheer announced in August production saying it mined 375 Bitcoin and a 33% month-over-month increase due to the higher average self-mining hash rate from energization of seal miners. The company has increased its Bitcoin holdings from 1,009, almost basically 2,000, from 1,600. So Bittheer continue to accumulate. Marathon, Foundry, all of them are just continuing to hash away. And those companies are continuing to expand and grow and continue to hash and mine Bitcoin. You can bet your bottom dollar that Bitcoin's network is secure, while the transactions used to third-party apps might be a little bit not. The Bitcoin network overall is secure, so no need to worry there, okay? I'm seeing some questions pop up. Other than some highs here, let me say good morning to everybody. Bear with me real quick, all my viewers in the future. Jay Bohannon, Rudd Puts, Automatic Beats, thank you all for stopping by. Rizzo gave us the $5, appreciate you. Techman stopping by. Adam Williams, Crypto Pounder 4, and Protagonist. IOTA with Salus platform aims to close 2.5 trillion trade financial gap. Algorand staking is now available to 10 million plus users across 140 countries on Uphold. Honestly, staking Algorand, I use my Ledger, and I know a lot of people don't like Ledger. I didn't sign up for the Recover plan because I don't want them to have my seed phrase. But yeah, Algorand is a cryptocurrency I've been a big fan of. IOTA and Sellers platform aims to close 2.5 trillion trade financial gap. IOTA is also a big one, not to the miners, right? The miners normally watch my channel. But I know a lot of the miners have transitioned into AI compute, but instead of mining said currency, they started to become traders. And I want you to know real quick, so about the Q4 of 2025. So we're about to go into Q4 of 2024, and we're about to go into Q4 of 2025. I started off with $250 USDT, and I used 3 commas, and I've done videos using 3 commas. I have a referral link in those videos if you guys want to use it. I am now at $400 or $399. So I had $250. I'm now at $400 USDT, but I also, because the way I play it is I'm making more USDT, but I'm also accumulating more of the asset that I'm trading. I'm trading against 5 main pairs: Doge, Ethereum. Now I am longing and shorting Bitcoin. Those are 2 separate trade bots. But that's I've been playing both sides of the game here. And the last one is Solana. Solana's been my biggest winner, with Dogecoin and Ethereum the second. Bitcoin, these are small gains, guys. These are like a $25 open trade, $10 spot trades. So $45 in each one, right? So 45 times 5, that's what I'm doing. Some I had to play the long game, like the trades, because of the market pulled back. Most of all of those are long, except for the Bitcoin short, the 1 Bitcoin short. But again, I have a Bitcoin long to counteract it. All of those have accumulated more of the asset that I'm trying to get without mining, but also accumulated more USDT. So if you haven't checked out 3 commas or one of the other trading applications, you can take your mining earnings, right, and you can turn it into more or accumulate more of the asset. Check out some of those videos on the live chat. Rudd Put says, hell no, no AI for me. Crypto Pounder 4 asks thoughts on Doge ETF delay. It's going to happen. I'm not too concerned. It sucks that it was delayed, but I'm not too concerned. When the Doge ETF happens, could you imagine what that's going to do to the price, guys? Let's look at Doge on the chart real quick. Look at that. Look at that. Dancing, baby. So, on the daily, You know, obviously a lot of hype on Doge. The ETF will come in due time. Doge to $1, most certainly. If the ETF and the inflows and the excitement comes, yeah, you know, Doge to $1 for sure. This is going to help out a lot of the script miners, the people that are using script ASICs. So we'll see. I'm not too concerned. It sucks, but I'm not too concerned. If that does answer your question, Crypto Pounder 4, let me know. If not, looking at ETH real quick on the chart, you know, it's been steady up. Yeah, we had some pullback along with Bitcoin, right? Kind of making the same U shape if you look at it. But growth against, so ETH against BTC, you can see ETH has gained some ground, but it's slowed down a bit. Pulled back, but it's slowed down a bit. And that's because when you know, ETH was popping off, a lot of the inflows into the Ethereum ETF stole some of that thunder from the Bitcoin ETF. So we'll see how things pan out. But I think the rising tide will raise all ships. You know, Solana $240 right now. That can easily be 280, 275. Doge can easily be a 50 to 60 cents. And when the ETF really gets going, $1. Bitcoin again 155 to 165, maybe even it could go higher, yes, but I'm being very conservative with my guesstimates, and they are just that, guesstimates, because I'm just some guy on the internet. Always do your own financial research, and nothing I say is financial advice or should be construed that way. Bitcoin Ether catch Friday afternoon bids, rise to 3 weeks highs. Right, you can see as we just saw on the charts, Friday was a good day for most of the cryptos, but this entire week has been a nice uptrend since the 7th for Bitcoin. Bitcoin and Ether cash each rose roughly to 3 week highs in late afternoon U.S. trading Friday. The two largest cryptos have been struggling for attention as capital instead have been flowing into altcoins like Solana and Doge. You know, yeah, Doge has a much bigger spike than Ethereum and Bitcoin, but I think, you know, it ebbs and flows, right? Bitcoin, you know, Bitcoin gets traded because Bitcoin is the #1 traded pair in all of crypto, right? Yes, you have USDT, USDC, other stable coins, but Bitcoin, there's always the crypto you're looking at always has a trading pair, usually in BTC. Some have Litecoin and some of the other ones, but it's usually in Bitcoin, right? So if it flows out of Bitcoin into Doge, eventually Doge is going to plateau and it's going to flow out of Doge back into Bitcoin, so on and so forth, right? The big upside action in major crypto of late has been altcoins such as Solana, Dogecoin, and Sol sporting a 17% gain over the past 7 days, and Doge a 25% advance. Matter of fact, let's go look at that chart and measure it real quick. How has the entire week been, right? So the entire week from the bottom of the 7th all the way to the top, we rose 42%. So significant. How is Caspa doing? I mean, Caspa had a good week as well. Back up to almost 9 cents, but still nowhere near where I would like it to be. So yeah, most forgotten investor capital moved elsewhere were the two largest crypto, but both are catching bids late in the U.S. trading. So they're basically saying things are flowing back into Bitcoin and Ethereum. As they stall, you know, people are going to move into other assets, whether that's traditional assets, traditional stocks, or Doge, or some meme coin that's popping off. It usually just continues to happen. Interest rate traders reacted quickly, sending odds to September rate cut from somewhat possible to a sure thing, with only the size being a 25 basis point or 50 left for debate. So I think it's going to be a 25. That's my prediction. I could be 100% wrong. He could not cut rates at all, but I think everybody's leaning towards 25 basis points, and we'll see what happens. In the hours after following Jerome Powell's, Bitcoin flew from 112 to 117, but that paled in comparison to an action in Ether below 4,300 ahead of the speech. ETH rose 16%, less than 48 hours later, nearing the 5K mark. Within hours after that, though, the bull move fell apart, and more, with ETH sliding all the way to about its pre-speech price, and Bitcoin tumbling down way down to 107 by the end of August, right? So we're talking about August speech. We'll see how things pan out. on the 17th coming up this week, but I'm looking forward to it. Let me see if I can get this article to load. But bottom of the first inning is what the Winklevoss twins are saying. Like, we're at the bottom of the first inning, right? Like, this is just the beginning, is basically what it boils down to. The institutional demand is there, right? These companies are going to continue to buy Bitcoin, and they're going to continue to allocate to Ethereum. Or if the Doge ETF comes out, like Crypto Pounder 4 was talking about, they're going to allocate assets to that, or X amount of whatever to that. So it's just a matter of time. But yeah, Winklevoss twins say it's the bottom of the first inning. Obviously, I think the biggest one is their company, Gemini Space Station, is going public, their IPO, which definitely is drawing a lot of interest recently, right? So its stock, 425 million NASDAQ debut, marks the latest in a wave of blockbuster crypto IPOs, right? We had the same thing with Circle, we had the same thing with Coinbase, so on and so forth. Obviously, there's some pullback, but JEMI is a ticker symbol. Definitely took off during their release. The company priced its initial public offering, or IPO, at $28 per share late Thursday, well above its initial target of 17 and 19, and even higher than upwardly revised 24 to 26 range. According to CNBC, Gemini capped its offering at 15.2 million shares, raising 425 million and signaling a heightened investor demand. The exchange moved swiftly to filing its S1 with the SEC to debut on the NASDAQ. As Cointelegraph reported, Gemini submitted its IPO registration on September 2nd and began trading 10 days later. Although not among the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange by trading volume, Gemini is regarded as a major U.S. platform with a reputation for security and regulatory compliance. According to CoinMarketCap, the exchange now saw trading volume activity and volume rise in the days leading up to its public listing. And again, while it's not one of the largest out there, Gemini is one of several cryptocurrency companies to stage high-profile IPOs in 2025 amid investor demand. Stablecoin issuer Circle saw the same thing, right? With standout performance, its shares saw a 160% increase over the first day when trading on the New York Stock Exchange. Since debuting at $31, the stock has climbed to $60, giving the company a market capitalization of $33 billion. Right, we're going to continue to see stuff like this, right? Even from people who aren't in crypto, for the mom and pop, for the investor, for the day trader that isn't involved in crypto, doesn't care for crypto, that's cool, whatever. Eventually, everybody's going to own crypto. But for them to have a stock, a crypto stock, is kind of their forte into crypto. It's just a gateway for them to get more involved in the crypto space. So I think it's just positive news all around. The demand is there, the excitement's there, and it's just a matter of time because we have Dubai. Now, I need somebody, I'm not sure where you are located, but for anybody out there in across the pond, I would like for you to confirm if you live in Dubai, if you're near Dubai, if you have family in Dubai, friends in Dubai, whatever, is this true? Because this article is claiming that Dubai lets you pay your rent in Bitcoin. I just want a confirmation from somebody, boots on the ground, that can confirm. And are you paying your rent in Bitcoin? I would be interested to hear from you. You can reach out to me. Contact sections in the about on the channel. There's other ways to get a hold of me, like on X is normally where it's at. I've been very busy. I'll do my best to get back to you. But can someone please, whether you have friends in Dubai, family, or if you live in Dubai, can you confirm that this is true? I can't verify this, and I really would like to know. But we know parts in the Middle East, so to speak, I'm not going to say that. Let's just say parts like Dubai, are, Saudi Arabia are becoming like they want the tech bros, they want the crypto bros, they want the wealthy and even the non-wealthy to come and to, bring growth to their various countries and sectors. And it is a very crypto friendly location and tax friendly location, right? So far they got clear regulations. I think they're still working on finalizing, but when we were stumbling, those countries were making waves and moves to make their locations, their countries, a little bit more clear as far as regulations and stuff like that. But Dubai is the first major city to make Bitcoin rent payments practical at scale. Tenants and landlords agree on terms. Payments are routed through the licensing gateways, and transactions are settled transparently on the blockchain. Accepting Bitcoin diversifies income, speeds up payments, attracts international tenants, right? So when I fly over, I have to convert my dollars, my US dollars, into whatever that country's currency is. And there's going to be a huge fee on that, right? But, and yes, you can just swipe your card and stuff like that. Same thing with, you know, Bitcoin. Like, technically, if I fly over there and I have my money on Coinbase, which I wouldn't leave your entire life savings on Coinbase or any centralized exchange. But let's say that I have a significant amount of money for my travels on my Coinbase. I can choose which cryptocurrency I'm going to pay or settle that transaction. Whatever I do, whenever I swipe my card, whatever I'm going to settle, and then there's like 5% back, 2% back on certain cryptocurrencies. I'm always trying to earn more Bitcoin. So every time I swipe and pay for something, even if I'm using a different asset like USDC, I'm going to get paid back in Bitcoin. So yes, you can do it that way, but I can see how internationally, right? Oh, well, I don't have your local currency, but I would like to pay my rent or pay my mortgage or pay my whatever in Bitcoin. Do you accept it? Yes, perfect. Boom. You know, Lightning Network for fast payments, right? Because it does speed up payments. The fees, right? Compared to like a Visa, Discover, credit card, whatever. The fees that you pay when you swipe those cards compared to Bitcoin is there's like apples and oranges. There is no comparison, right? So the purchaser saves on fees, and the the company or the tenant or the landlord saves on fees. I'm very intrigued by this. So please, if you know anybody in Dubai or have a friend, family member, please somebody confirm this. Obviously, volatility is concerning. Uneven regulation and adoption hurdles may slow wider rollout, especially among large developers and cautious institutions. Right, so not all landlords or other companies or renters will accept Bitcoin, but I do find this very interesting. But Dubai is definitely a crypto-friendly location. I mean, they have some of the largest crypto conventions over there. I would love to go there. It's just I do not have the sway, one, to get a ticket on behalf of the channel, and two, the funds to do that trip. So one day. But at this rate where I've slowed down, I don't know if I'll be able to get there. I don't know. Maybe we'll try to get back into the swing of things at some point in the future. I got to focus on some personal things and family and the household for a little bit. But I will try to put out content every once in a while if possible. I'm just not trying to kill myself anymore for only 100 views on YouTube. If you guys are watching my posts more often, or my videos, and I know they're not the sexiest, they're not the hottest, they're not the most clickbaity, I understand that. That's probably my fault. But all I'm trying to do is put out knowledge and information and share and stuff like that. And it's just not generating anything sustainable. And plus, whenever I got that stupid Ice River KOL bullshit, I got reamed online by the community, and it really did impact me, and it did impact the channel. But it's whatever, man. You try to grow, you try to build and make your channel more, and you just get, you're not going to make everybody happy. What can you do? So instead of stressing over it, here we are. But back to Caffeine and Crypto. I'm going to check the live chat in a minute. Hang on. I see you tagging me. Hang on, guys. Tether unveils USAT stablecoins for U.S. market. Names Bo Hines the lead new division. Now, USAT stablecoin for U.S. market. USAT. Tether unveiled its U.S. regulated stablecoin called USAT. Okay. Interesting. Now, I know Circle has been working with the government. And Circle is USDC. So is USAT Tether's way of meeting? Well, yeah, it is. It's designed to meet the requirements of the Genius Act. Okay, cool. Anchorage Digital will issue the token. Cantor Fitzgerald will manage his reserves. Tether will share revenue with partners, though details are yet to be finalized. Well, remember, we talked about it when we did a contract review of USDT on Yeti.uk. Their level of transparency that they were supposed to maintain with the community has diminished. So I wonder how this USAT and the transparency of that, right? Like, you know, they're saying they're going to share its revenue and stuff like that. Like, I wonder how they're going to be. They got to work with the government and they got to comply with the Genius Act. But I don't know. Tether's done some shady shit in the past. And again, if you want to check that out, go to Yeti.uk and look up the USDT token. And you see that I primarily focused on the TRC21, but the evidence and information within it is based on the main USDT and just like the overall company, and how they've, you know, lacked transparency in the past, which caused some issues. So I see a lot of people. I mean, USDT is the more popular cryptocurrency. I mean, I'm still trading in it to this day, but I like USDC better, in my opinion. So we'll see how it goes. But it's supposed to be a dollar-backed token. It's supposed to be transparent, and they got some key people like Cantor Fitzgerald and Bo Hines involved to, you know, kind of manage the reserve and keep things on track and stuff like that. So we'll see how things go. But this does mark moves by Tether of its first foray into create a stablecoin just for the U.S. with oversight, aiming to compete with the U.S.-based issuers such as Circle, Paxos, and Ripple, right? So this is Tether's attempt to try to combat that and be like, hey, government, we can be your friends too. Love me. So we'll see how things go. Let me know what your thoughts are of USAT. By building USAT with compliance, transparency, and innovation at its core, we are ensuring that the dollar remains the foundation of the trust in digital asset space. Okay, so I can see how they're trying to pitch it to the U.S. government of, hey, you want to keep the U.S. dollar, you know, the main asset for the entire world? We can help. Come love me, daddy. Whatever. No disrespect. Our USDT devs and individuals that work for that organization, much love and respect. But I'm just saying the company has done some shady shit in the past, okay? Anyways, live chat real quick. Rud puts, yes, but if you can pay in BTC this month, can be doubled next month. Yeah, and so like if I pay Rud puts right now for my rent, and say like in Dubai, and this is just an arbitrary number. Let's say it's $900 for rent every month. I pay Rud my $900 this month, and then after Jerome Powell's speech, right, things go crazy, right? Things are nuts. My rent's still going to be $900 in October, but the value or the amount of Bitcoin I now need to send you will be less. And then on the other side, the landlord, Rud Puts, who got the $900 worth of Bitcoin in September, right? Let's go to BTC to USD, right? Let's say $900. That would be 0.0078 Bitcoin, right? So Rud Puts got that in September. Jerome Powell, September 17th, goes ham. Market's going crazy. It's the end of October. I'm about to get, what happened to that $900? What happened to that $900, right? So let's say, right, we take that 0.0078 of $900 in September. That's now, Bitcoin is at 155K. Well, that $900 just turned into $1,200, right? And if you look at it that way, what's going to happen is, oh, I just spent $1,200 on this ASIC. But next month, that amount of crypto that I used to spend that, to pay that $1,200 is now going to be $1,500. And then it's the same thing, right? If you look at it that way, then you're never going to spend your crypto. You're never going to take profits. That's my opinion. And it's okay to take profits. If you got to pay your bills, pay down your debts, buy a car, pay your mortgage, whatever, man. Like, you got to take profits. You got to take profits. I'm trying to hold out as long as possible. But it's just going to happen, right? So now your $900 is going to be more for the landlord, but now I get to send less Bitcoin to them because Bitcoin is more valuable. Now, I would be interested to see, again, is anybody doing that? US Putt says, I sold all my 4090s to Panda. You must be in Canada because you wouldn't take any of my crap. Squirrel Master. Haters always gonna hate. That is true. Leno Chode 79. Because you didn't have that red Panda drive, to put it simple. I've been driving longer than Red Panda. With my dad's blood cancer, and he's doing better. And the family affairs, I just got to focus more on the family. But what's killed me, and I'll tell you the answer, Mr. Leno Cho 79. The difference between Red Panda, myself, and Savage Mind was Red Panda was doing a shit ton of live streams during the most obscene time, 2017, of crypto, and his growth exploded. If I had the capability to do a live stream as often as he was during that time, I probably would have been able to keep up pace, but I wasn't. I work a 9 to 5. I got a family of 4. My parents always need my help. My family always need my help, and I'm a yes man. I can never say no. When somebody says they need help, I always say yes, and it sucks because I don't get any money out of it, and I don't make anything out of it, but I just do it out of kindness of my heart. And the world just loves to eat that up and not pay you for it. But you're right. I don't have his drive. But even he's seeing, if you checked out his X post, he's seeing some of the concerns or the signs. Rud puts, Tech Man is not too far, blah, blah, blah. Holiday, very nice, cheap. All right, cool. You guys are talking to each other. USDT is better than USDC is what Putts say. Chode's actually saying I like USDB, which stands for USD. Okay. Northern Crypto and Tech, good morning. All right, everybody's talking to each other. Use Zephyr. Serpent X, bottom line, fiat is melting ice cube. Yeah, right? But if BTC is going down, Serpent X, the landlord is fucked. So it's sometimes it's a win, sometimes, yeah, 100%. BTC will not always go up, but most of the time, if you're talking about larger time frames. I am not smarter than Red Panda. I have knowledge in some aspects that they do not, and they have knowledge in some aspects that I do not. It's a good ecosystem. That's why you guys watch them and watch many of my colleagues, because you guys want something different, and that is okay. Go for it. I cannot feed you what you are looking for. These are not the droids you're looking for. But I will do my best. When things get settled a little bit better, I'll get back into the swing of things. I promise. Crypto Quant maps Ethereum's next test. 5.2K realized price band. Let's go look at that. So 5.2K. What would it take for Ethereum to get to 5.2K? Let's go ahead and zoom out real quick. Right now where we're at, let's say the weekend would continue around this 4,600 range. To get to 5.2 would be only 11 or almost 12% gain for Ethereum. Is that possible? Again, yes. Is there going to be some resistance that we need to overcome? 100%, right? Like we're at one right now that's turned support. But the next leg up, it looks like 47 and then 48 are two resistances. Maybe not major resistance, but definitely the 48 is the more major out of the two, right? 47 could probably easily be broken. You can see we bounced off of 47 and then came right back down. So we got to get there at 47K or 4,700, and then 48 is the next leg up. Ethereum on the daily is poised for such a move. But again, I think with the Jerome Powell, ETF inflow, stuff like that, we're going to be looking a lot better. Oh my God. Stop with all these stupid pop-ups. Recent analysis from CryptoQuant cites fund holdings that roughly doubled since April 2025 to about 6.5 million to 6.7 million ETH, alongside wallet cohorts holding 10,000 to 100,000 ETH that now sit above 20 million ETH. The firm researchers note that the large allocators are increasingly treating Ethereum as a strategic asset, while cautioning that much capital is already deployed. CryptoCount report adds that Ethereum staking or staked has risen to a record near 36.2 million. Are you guys staking Ethereum? Let me know in the live chat or in the comments after you watch this. Since May, reflecting long-term participation that reduces liquid supply. The market strategists also note that locking more ETH can slow incremental inflows of price momentum if price momentum cools. On-chain activity shows total transactions and active addresses reaching an all-time high, with smart contract calls surpassing 12 million daily for the first time. Evidence that the network's settlement role is expanding across DeFi and stablecoin transfers and token interactions. Researchers say that the pace supports valuation, but could proceed higher volatility if growth stalls. Meaning, if Ethereum's growth continues, or continues on its track, good news. But if it starts to stumble or stall, then that could be a significant retracement in price. According to the report's data, exchange inflows have fallen since the price peak near 5,000, down roughly 75,000 ETH per day from about 1.8 million in mid-August. The report further interprets lower deposits to centralized venues as lighter near-term selling pressure, while warning that thin inflows may also align with lower liquidity. The researchers framed the next hurdle at the realized price upper band around 5,200, which has acted as resistance in prior cycles, with ETH nearing 4,400, which right now I think we're at 46. The firm views consolidation as likely unless price breaks decisively above the band, which will shift conditions toward renewed upside discovery. Again, this week, September 17th, could be that help that Ethereum needs to get into the 5K range, 5,200, and break the previous the original. Well, no, it did break the original all-time high, but break a new all-time high on the shorter time frames. Otherwise, it's going to chop sideways, and if it did, looking at the daily, let's say it fell. This is it for the day, moving into Sunday, and it's still in the same range, but next week after the Fed meeting, it falls 4.8% down to 4,400. Not a big deal. It can certainly recover, but a lot of the inflows have slowed down for Ethereum, so we'll see. But the fact that, are you locking up your Ethereum? Are you staking your Ethereum? Are you participating in that ecosystem, or are you not? I know many of you have left Ethereum, so we'll see. Okay. Well, Red Panda is going to be coming on live here in a little bit. I'm going to send you guys on over there. See what's going on. I'm going to get some stuff done around the house. Crypto faces Patriot Act crackdown. Treasury targets mixers and DeFi. We've seen this before, right? With Tornado Cash and many other mixers, right? Governments, countries are going to go after these people, go after these organizations. They're decentralized, but having to run them on a platform, server, whatever, makes it very hard, and can oftentimes, even if you are using Tor and tunneling and all that stuff, can oftentimes lead to exposure, and they're eventually going to find them, and then they close down. But it's kind of like, it reminds me of Pirate Bay back in the day. Every time the servers were shut down, a new server would pop up in another location, yada, yada, yada. So it's going to be like a hopscotch or jumping jacks. It's just going to jump from one place to another. But yeah, if you're using mixing services, be very careful, because you could get in trouble. Well, you could get in more trouble if you are the provider, if you're providing the mixing service. As far as utilizing the mixing service, just obfuscate your any information that leads back to you, to your data, to your IP, to your machine. I wouldn't even use your main machine. I'm not going to give you tips on how to use it. I'm going to shut up now before I get in trouble. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So the US does not like crypto privacy, which is why crypto privacy is very important. Like, you know, Monero and other privacy tokens and privacy centric assets or assets that promote privacy are super important, but the governments are not going to like it, right? The Rage report notes that a new rule is expected to mirror and expand the 2022 mixture rule, FinCEN, floated after sanctioning of Tornado Cash, but with much broader implications. In practice, Section 311, powers allows Treasury to not only blacklist specific entities, but to also ban entire categories of transaction deemed high risk. As the report states, FinCEN proposal would extend to extraordinary powers of the Patriot Act into digital assets, placing mixtures, DeFi protocols, and even wallet providers squarely in the government's crosshairs. That's my concern, right? When you say wallet providers and DeFi protocols, like which ones, what are they doing that could get you in trouble? Zephyr is a good one, right? Putz just called it out. Zephyr is a privacy focused asset. You know, like we have the right to have our assets, our funds, our money the way we want to, and access to those funds when we want to, and to do what we want with those funds when we want to. That's our right. But the government wants to see everything we do, how we get our money, how we spend our money, what we buy with it, what we sell with it. Like, they want to know every fucking thing about us. And that's why all these websites, like right here at the bottom, look, this website uses cookies. By continuing to use this website, you're consenting the cookies are being used. That data is very important. Companies will sell it the highest bidder, right? Your data is like money to them. Why isn't money to us? Don't know, but it's money to them, and they're gonna go after it as much as they can. And when you hide your data, when you hide what you're doing, they get so pissy. They get so pissy that they come out with this shit. So I would urge you to read more into this. I'm going to drop this Bitcoinist article in the live chat. Check it out when you get a chance as we get ready for Red Panda mining in 7 minutes. But just be aware, okay? Just be aware. The CMC, or the CoinMarketCap altcoin index, alt season index, now stands at 66%. Right? We can see it from the chart. We could actually go to CoinMarketCap itself and take a look at it. Let's go ahead and do that right now. It's at 71, right? So is this alt season? So that's on the 90-day time frame. 30-day time frame, we're just below it, and 7-day time frame, we're in it. You know, last alt season was short-lived, or not alt season, but alt splash was very short-lived. Could the true alt season be coming upon us? I believe so. I believe 2026 altcoins are going to go crazy. I'm not sure if there was an ad or something that played just a second ago, but I lost a lot of you guys. Thank you for coming back and hanging in there. Sorry for all the ads. I put it on the lowest one possible. I do try to run ads only because what little it helps the channel, right? Only making so much off the channel. Every little bit counts. So I know the ads annoy you guys. You probably pay for YouTube TV. You probably have ad blockers, whatever, but the ads do help the channel. Just leaving a like on a video, even if you don't watch the full thing, helps the channel, and commenting helps the channel. So anything you can do, if you have the time. If you don't have the time, I completely understand. Go handle your business. But anything you can do to help out would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, so it climbed up from 66 to now 71 as of right now. And by analyzing the top 100 cryptocurrencies by market capitalization, determine whether the market is shifting towards altcoins or Bitcoin dominance. So it's looking at all the market caps of all the various coins, all the various altcoins. And so far, so good. We're looking pretty good. Bitcoin in consolidation as Treasury Eye altcoin, says Novogratz. Galaxy CEO Mike Novogratz says Bitcoin could surge again as the U.S. Federal Reserve restarts the cutting cycle, with momentum also coming from regulatory reforms. Bitcoin has likely been trading sideways as corporations have focused on stacking altcoins lately, though there could be an upswing coming later this year, says Mike Novogratz. Bitcoin's at a consolidation right now, partly because you're seeing a lot of the treasury companies in other coins take their shot, right? Like CryptoPounder was talking about Dogecoin, All right, when that Dogecoin ETF comes out officially, instead of being delayed, that's going to be a huge. There's going to be a huge amount of demand, right? Blockchain tech firm Bitmine Emergent Technologies have been leading the pack among altcoin treasury firms, recently buying 200 million Ether and growing its stockpile to over 9 billion in ETH. They have a large stockpile in Ethereum. As you're going to see with other companies that continue to stockpile Ethereum, and as the other ETFs come out, right, like Solana, Doge, they're going to continue to stockpile that as well. So that's going to draw some interest or some of that market cap away from Bitcoin. That doesn't mean it's going to kill Bitcoin. It's not going to flip Bitcoin. It's just going to pull, it's going to be less towards Bitcoin, right? And Bitcoin is kind of going sideways a little bit. I think while these companies, these other ecosystems are having their moment, I think probably we'll have another big surge up towards the end of the year. And here we are, right? Federal Reserve possibly cutting this week. Going to be next leg up. Record inflows again, coming back to Bitcoin as people flip off of altcoins real quick, get back into Bitcoin. Bitcoin shoots up. It's 155, 160K. It starts to stall. They're going to flip again, right? Right back into altcoins. Hopefully by that time, when we do hit that price of 160K Bitcoin, 155, the Dogecoin ETF is going to be out. We'll see. We'll see. But it's the ebbs and flows of crypto. Nothing new. There's nothing but positive news across the world. Hang in there. Dollar cost average. Keep stacking them sats and keep hashing away. I know mining isn't as profitable as it used to be. Matter of fact, let's go to hashrate.no while we're waiting for the last 3 minutes before Red Panda Mining goes live. Let's go to hashrate.no and take a look at what exactly is going on. I'm going to put that there right now. 2 minutes left. Let's look at GPUs, even though they're not as profitable. So all GPUs, let's say I have 6 3060 TIX. No, let's turn that off. 6 3060 Ti's. Show estimates. What's my electric rate? 8 cents. Nope. We need to turn that up. I'll put it to 10 for now. All right, what we're looking at here. So Vertcoin, $1.55 a day, but after electricity, negative 17 cents. Flux, $1.79 a day, but after electricity, negative 27 cents. Everything's still in the negative. But if you look, you can see how much is your yield, right? So you're going to get 23 Vertcoin a day, 7 Flux a day, 4.47 Cubic Coin, 3 Firo, 1.7 Ergo, 60 grand, 439 Eternity, 140 Raven Coin. That's the number that's important to me, especially if you have convictions in the project and the project possibly might do well in the future. Stacking up that cryptocurrency for a future leg up, a future altcoin season could be beneficial. That's just speculation on my part. Be careful, do what's best for you. But let's see what we got here. Mining ASICs. Boom. I chose you, Pikachu. There you go. So Bitmain, the Antminer S23 Hydro 3U, $66, $68 a day, $41 profit. Obviously, that's 3-phase, so you need to make sure you got the power for that. The Volk Miner D1 Hydro, $43. Script mining doing pretty good, baby. Script mining doing really good. A lot of script miners towards the top. There are some fractal Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners towards the top there, but yeah. Aleo, the Ice River AE2, ROI 210 currently, but has Aleo been keeping up? Let's see here. It's 23 cents. Okay, now that they introduced staking, it's kind of stabilized at where it's at, but as you can see when you zoom out, it's down a lot, right? So back when you were getting all hyped up about Aleo mining, machines coming out, you could have made a nice profit if you were at the beginning, or the manufacturers that tend to hang on to these machines for an extraordinary amount of times, raking in profits before they resell it or send it out to you after you bought it 5 months ago. But yeah, so short-term all-time high, 28 cents, and it's since pulled back to 23 cents, but it is a little bit more stable now. They force you to stake Aleo while you wait. But all right, is Red Panda Mining live yet? No. I'm going to send you guys on over there anyways. If you guys don't have any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, whatever, I'm done. Again, next week I might not be doing a live stream. If I can, I will. I need to get that Red Panda, whatever Chode said. Drive. There you go. Drive. Back. But it's not my business. It's a business, but it's not my. I don't have to do this. I work a 9 to 5. Me and my wife are okay. We make a great team. I don't have to do YouTube. I've been doing it for fun. I've been doing it for love, and I've been doing it because I love you guys. But it's not generating any money significant enough to make me be like, you know what? I'm gonna focus hardcore on this. And maybe I lost the drive. Maybe I'm losing the passion. But can you blame me after the community attacked, like not attacked, but just like gave me a hard time for trying to grow? The fire is there. It's just not as bright. It's gonna come back. I'm just really down in the dumps right now with everything going on between dad, cancer, mom, finances, house, my oldest not having a job, school, he's not doing the best. My second oldest not having a job now. He was working, not going to school. Like, there's a lot of things that I have to juggle here at the household. I will be okay. You guys keep rocking and rolling. If I give you any videos, tips, shorts, whatever, check it out. Like it, share it, whatever. Send it to your fucking grandma, man. She might love it. You never know. But I try to do better. All right? Just bear with me. Stay tuned. And for now, I'm just going to, I'm getting ready for October 10th, Battlefield 6. I'm getting ready for, I'm trying to level a character in WoW, Classic Era, for my friend who said they really need a Resto Druid. Like, I'm enjoying myself. I built this 9800 XGD and I never played games on it, right? Besides Battlefield 6 on beta and now WoW. Like, I have a badass computer and I don't game. So I want to enjoy my life, which is what I'm doing. But I didn't have time to because it would be work, make content, edit content, work, make content, edit content, work. Like, it was just a continuous cycle. So I'm enjoying my life. Let's leave it at that. I'm trying to enjoy my life, okay? But if I can make content for you, I will. Go say hi to Max Voltage and all the assholes that don't come hang out with us over at Red Panda Mining. And you guys take care. Have yourself a wonderful day. Do me a favor on the way out. Hit the like button. Don't forget to consider getting subscribed. I probably turned you away, but it's all good. Hit the notification bell to stay up to date, as well as checking out additional links in the description to help support the channel and what we do here. And I'll catch you next one. No Call of Duty today. I got to work on the car. Rudd giving me a hard time. Like I said, next weekend, if I could go live, it's going to be automotive related. I will. You guys enjoy Call of Duty. But if you guys are in one of the Discords, like, Misfit Miners or wherever, and I see you guys are playing, I might jump in there and stuff like that if I get the chance to. But I got to run over to my dad's, get a Allen socket set for what I need to do. Sun Subaru's leaking oil. I'm going to check on that real quick. Get some work done in the TL, and I will